Welcome to another beautiful episode of On Deck with Anchor. Yes, I know I look beautiful. All right, so today we'll be talking about KYC, and I have my colleague Shegun with me again. Hi, Shegun.
Hi, Esther.
Great.
Obviously, your outfit is amazing.
Thank you. Okay, so KYC is a common buzzword. You keep hearing KYC this. We have a lot of reg tech and KYC companies springing up and doing a great job. But there's still that challenge with KYC in Nigeria. So let's start with the basics of what KYC means and, how it works best in Nigerian context and how it can be better.
KYC is a process, is the very first process that is required for financial services.
Okay.
And what it basically means is know your customer.
All right.
It's basically the process where a service provider, because KYC cuts across industries, it's not just a fintech or a financial services thing. It is the process whereby a business, be it the bank or otherwise, identify the customers that they want to serve. And how do they do this? By getting their personally identifiable information from them. Okay. So your name is part of your KYC, your age, your sex, your email address, where you live and things like that. Okay. And why it is important is because you cannot offer services to somebody or a business that you do not know. Because how do you even do that? And also there's also the concerns around impersonation. If I can identify you, somebody can claim to be you. So it is extremely important to a viable and a sustainable financial ecosystem. It is the starting point. With a bad KYC infrastructure, it is difficult to have a sustainable financial ecosystem. And KYC is also a process. So it is almost never complete because the customers also evolve. So you don't live in the same place all the time. All of that. Your age changes, the documents that are used to identify you would change. So for example, your passport might have expired and then you've renewed it, and you use your passport as a way to identify you. That needs to be updated. So
or name change.
Or name change, someone gets married and now they're doing a name change. Yeah. Exactly. So it's a process, and because of how dynamic it is not easy to get right, and that is why there's been a lot around KYC, especially in the advent of a lot of fraudulent activities and cybersecurity concerns in Nigeria. So if you think about it from the lens of how do you prevent fraud, it starts by how do you even ensure that the people that are transacting are actually who they claim to be. And how do you stop the bad actors from getting into the system? So what processes do you put in place to make sure that you really know your customers? And there's different levels. There's tiers in KYC for customers. There's also KYB, which is know your business. Because some businesses are B2B model. True. So the same way individuals have personally identifiable characters, businesses also have things and ways through which you can identify the business. So the business has a name, the name that they register with the Corporate Affairs Commission. They have an address, obviously. They have directors. Yes. They have beneficial owners. The process of gathering all of that information for business is called KYB. And depending on how far and how much transaction you're doing, the level of KYC also increases. Sure. Someone that just needs a simple account to transact 10,000 naira, the risk is lower. Very, very The amount of KYC that is required is also lower. Yeah. When you want to be able to do billions of naira, then there's a lot at stake. Yeah. The KYC expectation also graduates with that level of transaction ability. Yeah. And there's a final dynamic, and I'll stop here. The places where this information reside, informations that are being used to verify individuals, are in different portals. Those portals get updated regularly. So there's BVN, there's NIN, there's passport, there's driver's license.
They're all different,
So as these different platforms exist, there's no unifying factor, and that's one of the biggest challenge we have with KYC today, because there's just
in Nigeria. Okay.
So it's just difficult to properly identify people in a centralized way, because we don't have the concept of, social security number.
Yes.
We're trying to make the NIN something like that.
Yeah.
But we are still not there yet. And that's something that, over time, we're going to see a lot of innovation, and hopefully it gets sorted.
Oh, great.
Yes.
So, one last thing.
Okay.
With the NDPR and
Yes.
KYC, how does that work? Because at the end of this, customer data, customer information.
Yes.
So how is that managed, for instance, with KYC?
Yes, so the NDPR specifically is regulations that have been put in place to ensure that the people who have access to the KYC of the customers are not abusing it. Because your information is also very important.
Yeah.
So the mandate of NDPR is actually to make sure that there's a framework through which that data is being managed. So it extends beyond just KYC. KYC is a part of the data, but there's a whole lot of data that businesses have access to that belongs to the customer. And that information, that data needs to be properly protected and managed. Okay,
that was a lot, but yeah, very, very insightful. Thank you, Segun. So that's it on today's episode of On Deck with Anchor. See you some other time. Bye for now.